Hey Peaches, I'm Eleanor and welcome to Peaches by Starlight Tarot. This is your weekly pick a card reading as it pertains to work, career, money, and that type of thing, that area of your life. I am using the Ukiyoe Tarot and the Celtic Tree Oracle. Stack 1 is the fox, stack 2 is the baby chick, stack 3 is the blue tang fish. They're timestamped below, and this is just a general reading for the collective. If you'd like a private reading all to yourself, you can pick the cards that you want, or I should say pick the decks that you want in my Etsy shop, which is linked below. At the end of each one, I am doing a pick a card using grace cards. So there will be 3 more cards at the end of each reading. If you hear something that helps you out, please let me know by giving me a like. And if you want to keep up with me every Saturday, please subscribe. Let's get started. Okay, those of you who chose stack 1 or chose the fox, your tree is, it says vine. There we go, that's better. All right, you have the Wheel of Fortune, the 10 of Swords in reverse, and the Devil. All right. Okay. All right. So the overarching theme, it feels like the narrative, it feels like a chance to turn back before reaching a point of no return. It's like as though this reverse 10 of Swords and the Devil, you may sense something is a trap in time not to take a final action, to take an action that burns a bridge, says something that you can't unsay or take back, something that would put you in a position of debt or addiction or dependence on something outside of yourself. It's something that's going to cost you a degree of autonomy and freedom and self-direction. A negative commitment. How do you recognize that? How do you see that? Well, the answer is here with this Wheel of Fortune and the vine. These tie together very nicely, actually, as far as advice on how to recognize this trap and how to stay one step ahead out of the... Yeah, okay, so the vine is about things coming to fruition. And the Wheel of Fortune too, it's about karma, good or bad, reaping what you sow. But with the vine, it's good. It's a positive thing. And it shows abundance, community, creative expression, collaborative storytelling, celebration. The big theme with vine is count your blessings. That's like the big keyword with that card. So it's like stopping, enjoying how far you've come, smelling the roses, opening the packets of lessons you've gathered along the way. All that, everything you have is worth more. There's something material being dangled in front of you, and I feel like you're going to realize that what you have is worth more than that, even though it might not be in the material sense. It could be with Wheel of Fortune and Vine. Very well could be in the material realm, but it's likely not going to be immediately comparable to what's being like, this fancy, ooh, you want this thing that's kind of like being, come hither, we have something wonderful to show you. Kind of like Pinhead, we have such sights to show you. Okay, that's old. That tapping into radical gratitude is what's going to keep you out of that dissatisfied not enoughness that is the bait. I feel like there's a bait. And it's like the Goblin King in Labyrinth when he's showing her that crystal ball. And it's like the idea of the movie in several instances is this attempt to distract her from her goal, which was to get the baby back, who at the beginning of the movie she wishes away, and then she realizes, oh shit, can't trade my baby brother for this lovely treasure that looks very nice. But it's like what you have, as you realize that what you have is more valuable than what is being, I don't know. I feel like that happens in a lot of movies. If you can think of other examples besides that one, let me know, because it is a common theme. Where someone gets seduced by something and then realizes that they've lost something along the way that was worth way more. All right, let me tune in. Set your intention for whether you feel like card 1, 2, or 3 will have your message. Okay. Card 1. Support. It says, expect help. A divine power more magnificent than anything else that exists on the planet is ready to support your every move. So you will have help if you're having trouble seeing that bigger picture. If you have in that moment of temptation, there might be something come in that reaffirms this, like talking about celebration and community. It'll be, I feel like, a heartwarming moment that reminds you how good you have it. Card 2, presence. Bring your mind into present moment time. Now is the only place to be. Yes, and now is the only time to be able to appreciate what you have. And that future-mindedness, that, imagining how something in the future could be so much different or so much better. Hang on, I got cards flopping out everywhere. Card 3. Because anything that you're imagining the future can hold, that's all it is. It's an illusion, it's an image. Come back to the present with what is and what you actually have. And make a balance sheet of all your blessings as they actually are. And just see how abundant and amazing that actually is. And don't just do a financial list. Things like your freedom, your autonomy, your family, your love, your time, your passion. Card 3, surrender. Surrender is the key that unlocks the door to grace. I feel like that goes really well with the presence. Surrender to what is and to enjoy it fully with this divine energy and not be seduced by something that you're trying, that it feels like a false image. It feels like a false promise to me. Okay, like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I will talk to you next Saturday. Thank you. Okay, those of you who chose stack 2 or chose the chick, see if I can get the little chick to focus. Your tree for the week is ash. And you have the 9 of Wands. Stay the course. Don't give up. Reverse Ace of Wands. And the Knight of Pentacles. Okay. Persevere. Long term. Thinking of the bigger picture and the long-term effort. Okay, so with the reverse Ace of Wands, it's not time to start something new. It's time to finish something that you started. You're not exerting external force, being ambitious. This is a more restorative and replenishment type time, I want to say. It's equalizing. With this ash tree, I'm talking about equalizing like a decompression chamber. I don't know if that's something about space travel or if that's something like the undersea movies, before we can go up, you have to decompress, and if you don't, you'll die type concept. Or like when you buy a fish from the pet store and it comes in a little bag of water, you have to put the bag of water in the aquarium for a period of time while the temperatures equalize slowly, or you'll like shock the fish by just dumping it in the aquarium. It's that kind of there's a bringing into balance slowly happening here. And so the Knight of Pentacles and the 9 of Wands together, it's talking about to keep going slowly but surely. Don't give up, stay alert and stay aware with this 9 of Wands, but at the same time, don't look for threats. Not everything has to mean something. Just keep your senses keen while in motion. And that might sound contradictory to how I started off, but equalizing is a process. Like making popovers. You have to leave the oven closed. You can't peek or you ruin the whole you ruin them, but you can't look at the timer. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's just my metaphor. So ash speaks on the inner and the outer being reflections of each other. It's a mirror reflective energy. What is above, so below type of thing. So what you desire professionally can't manifest in the external until you've become what you desire internally. And so the Ash card says that the external environment of your job or financial situation is a reflection. It is holding up a mirror of your inner world. And this is very hanged man type energy if you're familiar with the tarot. And it says that it's like you're a human being, not a human doing. You aren't what you do who you are. And start there, and that reflection in the outer will start to change in time. You can't rush it and you can't force it. Okay. So go ahead and set your intention for whether you think card 1, 2, or 3 will have your message. And let me tune in. Okay. Card 1. Chance. Take the leap. Divine protection is always by your side. Okay, so that's where this Nine of Wands does feel very protected, and it does protective of oneself. That being on alert for threat, I feel like, is a stumbling block in this case. And there's a kind of a I'll believe it when I see it type energy, wanting the external to change before you do. Fear that if you make this change internally, that it won't be mirrored back to you on the external, but that it will have been for nothing, that it will be taken advantage of by others. So it is trust the process and trust that it does start with you, because there's a sense of needing to see something on the outside change before you will, and you do have to trust in the proper cart horse order. Okay, card 2. Peace. When we balance silence with activity, we discover true peace of mind, the source of all joy and happiness. Yes. Balance of silence with activity. Card 3, mirror. Okay, so this is why I love what I do, okay? Learn to see God's presence in everyone you meet or in every situation, okay? Like, share, and subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll talk to you next Saturday. Thank you. Okay, those of you who chose stack 3 or chose the fish, which I always want to drop because he's tapered at the top. All right, your tree for this week is blackthorn. You have the 6 of Pentacles, even Steven, balance, reciprocity, the Fool, open for anything, and the 10 of Wands, lots of responsibility there, and wisdom and experience. So the Fool and the 10 of Wands, honestly, these could not be more different. The Fool energy carries none of the burdens that the 10 of Wands indicates, but also none of the knowledge. None of the experience. And so the way forward is visible. There's like this huge vista of possibility ahead and no working knowledge of how to navigate it or what is going, how to, it's the beginning of a cycle, the beginning of a journey. So with the 10 of Wands and the Fool, it feels a little bit like that, what is that quote? Youth is wasted on the young. Is that George Bernard Shaw? Or the irony of like the older you get, the more you learn, and the less time you have, and the less energy you have to apply it. So with the 6 of Coins, though, I am feeling like there is an injection of youthful energy to combine with your experience and your knowledge. Or if you are a young person and you have had what you feel like was the experience of having to grow up too fast, or that hard knock, school of hard knocks or whatever, and you feel like you didn't have very much of this Fool time to have this Fool childlike energy. You have the fortune. You can look at it as having the fortune that you will know more, have that knowledge to use for longer, to build a more profitable life, and to wield that knowledge for a greater proportion or greater percentage of the time you have left. That might seem like a small consolation, but this week, this is what the cards are talking about. Okay, so it's like Blackthorn is about these challenges exactly on one side or the other. If you're feeling old before your time or resentful of your short but hard knock life, there is an opportunity in that challenge, in that energetic burden that you carry. That's what this card is telling you about. It's about finding and using that. This is where, like the law of thermodynamics, even Steven, this is where nothing is created, lost, gained. There's always balance and reciprocity, at least when it's upright like this. So whatever it feels like, whichever side of the scale you're on, it's being balanced out is the key point. Okay, I want to tell you, that's what you need to hear. It's being balanced out. You are protected by it, and you have learned how to transform strife into change. How to turn negative situations into opportunities for renewal by setting boundaries and removing blockages. The big thing is this being a career, job, money type reading. Use this to your advantage. This is your advantage, your advantageous tool this week, okay? There's nothing to be gained by feeling sorry for yourself. This is to your advantage this week if you can figure out how to use the knowledge. That's not to disacknowledge that coming by it was difficult. But what good was it if you're not going to use it? It's like, this is a philosophy that I've had to use at times where if the universe takes something from you, the immediate knee-jerk response is to feel like a victim or to feel like something is lost or taken. But I have, in certain times like that, have had to go, okay, I demand something in return. I need to balance this out. And I will find it. I'll make it up. There is a lesson here, and God damn it, I'm going to find it. I can't wallow in this feeling of victimhood. There was something, lemons into lemonade. I actually ended up with extra lemons this week. More lemons than I wanted. Life literally handed me lemons. I'm not making lemonade, but I am making lemon cake, lemon tarts, lemon linguine. Alright, anyway. Set your intention for whether you feel like card 1, 2, or 3. We'll have a message for you. And let me tune in. Sorry for my rambling. Okay, card 1. Presence. Bring your mind into present moment time. Now is the only place to be. Yes, this is already talking about not dwelling on the past, not dwelling on if you're feeling old, how far, how much time you have left to use the knowledge, that whole knowledge or wisdom is wasted, or youth is wasted on the young, whatever the quote was. Age, and whether or not you've had a hard life or an easy life or a short one or a long one, that none of that is present focused. All of that is past and future focused. So what do you have now? What do you have to work with now? What can you turn to your advantage now? Card 2. There's no time for if-onlys. Card 2. Imagination. Life's difficulties are a call to consciousness, a grace-inspired event that challenges us to reach beyond limited thinking. That's exactly what this card is all about. If you have this oracle, or if you want to look it up, that's like exactly the message that the blackthorn tree brings to you. Okay. Card 3. Ask. When we call upon the divine for guidance and support, we will receive a response. spiritual signposts will be put in our path to guide us to our highest good. Okay, guys, like, share, and subscribe, and all that good stuff, and I'll talk to you next Saturday. Thank you.